At the party when I saw my cheating wife, I immediately understood everything. That look in her eyes and the scent of sex. She had just slept with someone. I lied, saying I had a headache, and we went home. Pretending to be asleep, I overheard her conversation with her lover. "Sorry, John, I can't come back even though I was ready for round 2. I'll make it up to you next time." That's when I decided it would be her last next time. I hired a maid prostitute known for her questionable health and arranged the perfect date for John. A few photos from their encounter became the centerpiece of my message to my wife. "Merry Christmas. I hope your lover gave you not only pleasure, but also a little venereal surprise." There's something that changes in a person's eyes when they've betrayed you. Something distant, detached, like they're still looking at you, but their heart's already moved on. That's exactly what I saw in Emma's eyes at the company Christmas party. She was laughing with her friends, swirling wine in her glass, wearing that red dress she knew drove me crazy, except this time it didn't feel like it was for me. When I kissed her cheek, I noticed it. The faint scent of cologne that wasn't mine, the glisten of her skin. Not sweat, not perfume, the off rhythm in her breath like she'd run here or done something physical. And that was when I knew she had just slept with someone else. I clenched my jaw, trying not to make a scene. Her coworkers smiled, toasted. The room buzzed with cheer, but I could barely hear it because all I could hear was the blood rushing in my ears. All I could feel was the cold realization my wife had just been with another man, then walked into a party with me like nothing had happened. She leaned into me, whispering, "You all right, babe? You look pale." I forced a weak smile. "Headache. Can we leave early?" She hesitated just for a second, but that second was enough. She didn't want to leave. Not yet. Not until she was sure he wasn't coming. After a pause, she nodded. "Of course, let's go." We barely spoke. She scrolled through her phone, occasionally typing quick messages. I didn't ask who. I didn't need to. We walked into the house. I went straight to the bedroom and pretended to be tired. "I'll join you in a bit," she said. "Just need to finish up a couple of texts." I nodded, already under the blanket, but I wasn't sleeping. Not even close. 20 minutes later, I heard her enter the room. She thought I was asleep. She whispered softly into her phone, "John? Yeah, I'm home." My chest tightened. She paused, giggling. "Sorry I can't come back, even though I was ready for round 2. I'll make it up to you next time." Next time. Those 2 words were all I needed. There wouldn't be a next time, not for them, because right then and there, I began planning her final betrayal. There's a point in betrayal where the pain stops burning and turns cold. That's where I was. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't confront Emma the next morning, though every part of me wanted to. Instead, I played the role of the loving husband. I made her coffee. I asked about her meeting. I even kissed her before she left for work, because now I wasn't her husband anymore. I was her executioner. I needed to learn everything I could about John, not just where he worked, but who he was, what bar he visited after work, where he parked his car, his schedule, his weaknesses. It didn't take long. Cheaters are rarely as clever as they think. He worked in Emma's building, marketing department, divorced, gym freak, liked to brag about how free he felt. Free, huh? He was about to experience a whole new definition of regret. I couldn't just catch them in the act. That was too easy, too cliché. I wanted to humiliate them. I wanted them to feel dirtier than what they had done to me. And that's when I remembered her. Let's just call her Lola. I had crossed paths with Lola years ago while working freelance security gigs. She was a high-end escort known for playing roles: maid, nurse, yoga instructor, you name it. But what made Lola infamous in those circles? She had a reputation. She wasn't someone you called for a romantic fantasy. You called her when you wanted revenge. And her menu came with a disclaimer. No questions, no strings, just say what you want filmed. I messaged Lola, told her I needed a maid who would show up unannounced and seduce a man. Harmless enough, right? But I also requested something specific. Latex gloves and no protection. Footage clear and damning. Leave her earring behind. Just one, somewhere obvious. Lola simply replied, "Give me a date and time." I borrowed Emma's phone while she showered. It took 10 seconds to find John in her messages. I copied his number and sent him a fake invite to a private house party. Exclusive VIPs only, someone had dropped his name. Women love confident men, it said. Come dress sharp. Address attached. It was my friend's vacant apartment. Cameras already set. Wine poured. Music playing softly. And right on cue, Lola arrived first, wearing a black French maid outfit. 10 minutes later, so did John. What happened next? Well, Lola played her role perfectly. He didn't stand a chance. And the moment he was compromised, she made sure the camera had everything. Even whispered, "Smile for the naughty housewife who's watching," right into his ear. 2 days later, Emma and I sat by the tree. I handed her a box. She opened it with that fake sparkle in her eyes. Inside, a flash drive. She frowned. "What's this?" I smiled. "Your Christmas gift. Press play." She inserted it into the TV, and there he was. John, her John, in full, humiliating glory. Emma's face drained of color, and when Lola appeared on screen licking her lips, she covered her mouth. Then came the final touch. The still image I had printed and tucked in a separate envelope. Photo. John, Lola, the discarded earring. A note in red ink. "Merry Christmas. I hope your lover gave you not only pleasure, but also a little venereal surprise." Emma screamed. And me? I stood up, walked out without another word. Because that was just the beginning of her descent. They say karma takes time. Not this time. This time, karma wore stilettos, walked into her life like a wrecking ball, and hit faster than Emma ever imagined. I didn't speak to her for 3 days. No texts, no calls, no answers. She blew up my phone, sobbing in messages. "It's not what it looks like. Please let me explain. John meant nothing to me." But I wasn't interested in explanations because Emma didn't just cheat. She mocked me. She insulted my dignity, lied to my face, spent nights pretending to be tired from work while giggling under silk sheets with a man who had no idea what storm was heading his way. Until now, there's no weapon more devastating to a guilty person than silence, and I wielded it like a scalpel. She came home one night to find the locks changed, her clothes boxed by the door, her toothbrush snapped in half. On top, a note taped to the box read, "Find somewhere else to clean up. You're dirty now." The neighbors watched through their windows. She broke down on the porch, crying hysterically. Not one person came to help. I never posted the video, but it didn't matter, because a tasteful, cropped, and blurred image from the encounter, just enough to identify John and the maid, found its way into the company newsletter's anonymous tips page. The caption, "Is your boss working hard or hardly working?" By lunchtime, John's phone had been confiscated. By evening, HR had him under formal investigation. Emma tried to cover for him, but no one was listening anymore. She had been the golden girl of her department. Friendly, polished, polite. Now, she was the office joke. A week later, Emma showed up at my doorstep. Eyes swollen, voice weak, pale as a ghost. She didn't say hello. She didn't ask to come inside. She just held up a paper. A test result. Positive for a certain itchy little visitor. Apparently, Lola's menu had lived up to its reputation. Emma started to cry. "I didn't know. I swear. I didn't think—" "You'd stop," I said, arms folded. "You didn't think. Period." She looked at me with pleading eyes. "I lost everything. Please, please, can we just fix this?" I stared at her, cool and quiet. "Fix what? Your reputation? Your health? Your conscience?" She sobbed. "I didn't mean for this to happen." I smiled, just a little. "But you let it happen." Repeatedly, I served her the divorce papers that night, right there on the porch. She reached for them with trembling fingers. The envelope was heavy because inside wasn't just paperwork. I had included photos of her with John, from the bar, from their date. The conversation transcript I pulled from her texts and a screenshot of her saying, "I'd rather die than go back to him." At the bottom of the last page, in red ink, "Now you don't have to." She dropped to her knees, literally begging, and I just closed the door, softly, quietly, finally. Because the best revenge is letting them sit in the silence they created, surrounded by the ashes of everything they burned. They say closure comes in time. Sometimes, though, it comes with a knock on the door and a final twist you never expected. I wasn't looking for forgiveness. I wasn't looking for applause. Just peace. And after watching Emma burn her own life to the ground, I thought that was it. But fate had one more twist to offer. A month after the divorce was finalized, I got a call from one of Emma's co-workers. We weren't close, but she sounded desperate. "I thought you should know," she said quietly. "Emma's been asking around the office about you. She says she made a mistake." I laughed bitterly. "Too late for that, don't you think?" "She's not doing well," the woman added. "She's on unpaid leave. They're investigating whether she helped cover up John's actions." "Is she still with him?" "No," she replied flatly. "He dumped her a week after losing his job. Said she was bad luck, then ghosted her." Classic. I thanked her and hung up. That should have been the end of it, until I found an envelope taped to my front door the next morning. Emma's handwriting. No return address. Inside was a single page. "I know you'll never forgive me, and I don't blame you. I betrayed everything we had. I made a stupid, selfish choice, and now I'm living in the ruins of it. I lost you. I lost my job. I lost my dignity. You were the only real thing in my life. I see that now. I just wanted you to know. I hope someday you can be happy again, even if it's not with me." No excuses, no manipulation, just pain. And as much as I wanted to be indifferent, part of me remembered who she used to be. Before the lies, before the betrayal, before John. But I didn't reply. Because sometimes silence isn't just revenge. It's protection. 2 months later, I moved into a new place. New job, new city, new chapter. Life was different, quieter, cleaner. And one night, sitting alone in a bar, I met someone. Not in a whirlwind kind of way, just two broken people talking over whiskey. Her name was Natalie. She had gone through a similar betrayal. 8 years married, only to discover her husband had a second family in another city. We talked for hours, laughed at the absurdity of what we'd endured, and something sparked. Not fireworks, not violins and music, but peace. A sense that maybe not all love is lies and landmines. Maybe there's still something real out there, even if you have to crawl through the ashes to find it. Emma's life didn't implode in one night. It crumbled piece by piece. By the time she realized what she'd lost, I was already gone. Not out of revenge anymore, not even out of anger. But because I had finally realized the most powerful revenge isn't burning their world down. It's building something stronger without them. A life they'll never be part of again. And as for John, last I heard, he was living out of a cheap apartment, working door-to-door sales, with a reputation that preceded him. I didn't need to lift a finger after that night at the bar. Their own choices did the job for me. So this Christmas, I didn't send any messages, no surprises, no passive-aggressive greetings. Just a quiet toast to freedom, to clarity, and to knowing I'll never be that kind of fool again. Was this revenge justified, or did it go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take. And if you love jaw-dropping pro-revenge stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like for more thrilling tales you won't want to miss. Every like, share, and subscription means the world to us. It helps us keep bringing you the stories you crave. Your support truly makes a difference. Thank you so much for being part of our community.